This special case gave rise to one of the maxims of equity, that equity will not perfect an imperfect gift. Thomas Medley of New Orleans owned a range of shares, including shares in the Bank of Louisiana. He had a niece named Eleanor who lived with him for years, but was moving out as he was about to remarry. He wanted to provide for her, and so he drew up an instrument which purported to create a trust, with Samuel Lord as the trustee and Eleanor as the beneficiary. Into the trust he purported to place 50 of his shares in the Bank of Louisiana. For a couple of years after this, everything seemed to go fine. Dividends from the shares were received by Mr. Lord and provided to Eleanor. In 1855, not long after Eleanor married, Thomas Medley died. A Mr. Otto was the executor of his will, and quite properly he started to get in the property of the estate. He looked carefully at the trust and found that according to the constitution of the bank, for shares to be transferred, an entry had to be made in the bank's records. Mr. Medley should have transferred legal title to the shares to Samuel Lord to hold in trust for Eleanor, but he hadn't done so. The court was asked to determine the status of the trust. The court found with clear reluctance that the trust had not been properly formed. The court said that there is no reason why equity would not enforce the assignment of a legal interest for any property capable of such an assignment. But Lord Justice Turner said there is no equity in this court to perfect an imperfect gift. Lord Justice Turner went on to say that for the donation to be made, the donor must have done everything which, according to the nature of the property, was necessary to be done in order to transfer the property. Mr. Medley had not done this, which meant that the shares were never transferred into the trust, which in turn meant that the trust contained no property and was not a trust at all. The gift therefore failed, and the shares became part of the estate. This case tells us that for equity to enforce the assignment of a legal interest, the person assigning the interest must do everything necessary to transfer the property.